Or should I say therapy forum, as Newcastle United thump Manchester United 4-1 at St James's Park. But where did it all go wrong, and where does Amorim go from here? There's question marks being asked of Amorim already. There's question marks over his lineup for the Thursday game against Lyon. What team does he go with? And obviously huge blow to Joshua Zirkzee, who the majority of us thought was our best player that game. We're going to get into it, get your comments in as well. We're joined by Maud, Tull and Hayden. If anyone didn't watch the countdown to kick off, Hayden is filling in as my brother, so everyone be nice.
Filling in as your brother?
No, well, he is my brother, but filling in because everyone's on the holidays and all they want to do is avoid the drumming at St James's Park, really. Yeah. But you've stepped up, Hayden, so thank you for being on as well. And yeah, let's get started. I'll come to you first, Maud.
Yep.
4-1 at St James's Park, but I don't think the scoreline tells the full story. 4 goals we conceded were 4 individual errors, individual mistakes. But do you think we bring on them mistakes ourselves?
100%. I kind of think it does tell the story of our season. You know, we are a mistakes-prone team. I could probably name 10 players in this team that have made a mistake that have led to a goal. I mean, literally our last game, we lost it because of mistakes. So it does kind of tell a big story of how United have played this season. I'll be honest, in terms of performance-wise, though, I think earlier on in the game, I'd say probably like the first half or parts of the first half, and maybe a little bit of the second half as well, we weren't terrible. I think we've slowly actually, in my opinion, actually progressed the last few games, and I think we actually played better football. But like I said before, mistakes. If it's not one player, it's somebody else. If it's not them, it's going to be somebody else. And these are things that you can't train them out of a player. You can't train Maserati to not slip. You know what I mean? You can't train other players or somebody to lose a ball and then them goes getting counter-attacked on. These kind of things that are just, it's more of a confidence thing, and also, I don't know, it's hard to really... For
me, it's the actions after, though. It's the actions after the mistakes happen. It's like Mazraoui slipped, but we could have recovered it. But Eriksen and Lindelof, I can't even describe them. There's other situations where we put ourselves in these positions when the mistakes are made because we've not got the fundamentals down. I honestly think if you are that close to the bottom of the Premier League season, you can't just keep calling it individual errors, individual mistakes. Oh, if only that didn't happen fine margins. Like, we're close to the bottom of the Premier League table because we don't have physical or technically good enough players in our squad to utilise. We get pressed off the ball, we're easy to pick off, and Newcastle United did that today, Tull. And what do you think Newcastle's thinking was going into the game approaching Manchester United?
Newcastle, they came out pretty fast. But I thought we actually matched them in the first half, to be honest. I mean, even at 1-0 down, I wasn't terribly disheartened. I'll be honest, I wasn't too bothered about Ugarte giving the ball away because I thought it wasn't like a complete howler for me. I know he smacked the ball at the pitch, but the entire team was getting pressed, and he had to get rid of the ball, otherwise he was just going to get pinched out of his feet anyway. So I wasn't totally bothered about that. And then the assist from Isak is just next level, to be fair. Is mic on?
Oh, mic's off. Okay. Oh, wait, what's going on?
Oh, carry on.
I'm so confused. What's going on? Oh, right, okay. I didn't even know what was going on there.
No, I thought my mic was turned off, sorry everybody. So yeah, Isak's just phenomenal. I mean, some of the stuff Isak was doing in the first half, he's literally unplayable. Lindelof didn't know what to do, he didn't know whether to step off him because it's like you need a yard away from him, but if Lindelof then closes into him, he's just going to get turned. So I thought Lindelof had a pretty impossible task today. But we matched him. I thought, even at 1-0 down, I thought we'll come back. They showed me enough in that first 20 minutes. So I was like, yeah, we're playing all right. We got the goal before half-time, which I was really happy with, to be fair, to equalise before half-time, get ourselves back into the game. Zirkzee going off, man. I mean, completely different side. I'm sorry to say it, but wow, we were so much better with Zirkzee on the pitch. Like, miles better. As soon as he went off, there's nothing going on, mate. There was literally nothing going on up top anymore.
I agree. I mean, Hayden, did you think Zirkzee was the game changer for United? Because it did feel like when he came off, things did quickly change.
Well, yes, because Zirkzee was so involved. Like, he was involved in all the build-up. He was that out ball, and then when he comes off, all of a sudden you bring Haaland on, and it's like you're down to 10. I think you said it at the time, Tom. It's like we were down to 10 men. Nothing happened after that. And as well, we had the second and third goal at a similar time, and it's almost like we gave up in the game. It was embarrassing, and to be honest, yes, first half, like, I thought we gave them a go at it, but to be honest, it was 2 completely different levels of quality in the sides. Like, you're playing Lindelof and Eriksen. we all knew what was going to come. Like, as bad as it feels to get beat, we knew that was going to come when we seen them in the team sheet. They're not good enough. I would have rather, I said on the build-up, I would have rather have had Cheeto playing and players like that, because, you know, at least you're getting used to some minutes. They're not good enough, and we know that, and it got proved again today.
I've got to say, they played better than I thought they were going to.
Lindelof and Eriksen?
No, just the entire team. Sorry. The entire team.
Really? I thought that second half was one of our worst of the season.
The way we started the game, the first 55 minutes, they were way better than I expected them to be.
I disagree. I think Newcastle didn't even have to break sweat, really. Let's be honest.
I don't think it was that
First goal was very good, but...
Are you talking about second half?
I thought we were decent.
Second half, yeah. It was so easy for them.
It was easier, especially... All they had to do was press us off the ball, and because we had no out ball with Zirkzee off the pitch, we couldn't get up the pitch, and it was just attack after attack.
What happened was they have one of the best midfields in the league. Joe Linton, Bruno Guimaraes, and sorry, who was the other one? Tonali. Yeah, he was amazing as well. And who do we have? Ugarte on his own. Eriksen is a ghost. Bruno was trying to push up. That's what's going to happen. That was obvious.
I mean, already comments in the chat coming in about the keeper situation as well, so we will get on to them. But yeah, I think a big one that I really did want to bring up, because I seen on... I don't know if it was spoken about much on the player ratings because they were on before this, is I think Zirkzee, before we get into, you know, a lot of criticism, which I think is going to come the way on this forum, I think Zirkzee deserves a lot of praise, and I'm absolutely gutted he's out, because it was such a stark contrast to when he was on the pitch to when he wasn't, and I just wish he would have scored that goal when he did that interchange with Bruno Fernandes, because it was fantastic. Like, the difference with Zirkzee on the pitch, just taking hold of the ball against good centre-backs as well in Shah and Byrne, getting hold of it, passing it off. Multiple times he's doing that. He's getting our wing-backs up the pitch. He's getting players up the pitch. And then when Højlund comes on, it's just, you can barely get a touch, and it's so different. You can't get out of your own box, your own half.
Even when you look at how he got injured, what he was doing before he got injured, he must have run through about 3 or 4 players, and then obviously he must have just, you know, one stride too much, and obviously ended up pulling his... I mean, we don't actually know exactly what he's done. I'm hoping it's not like a super long term, like a season ender. Hopefully it's a few weeks, I don't know. But it looked like he did pull his hamstring, which usually is quite a difficult injury to come back from really quickly. But yeah, like you said, it's just night and day. And genuinely, I've said this before, innit? I know he's injured now, but in this next Lyon game, if he is available, I'm praying, innit? If he is available, I'm praying, innit? If he is available, I know obviously he's not going to be available, innit? But what I was going to say was, before he obviously got injured, my whole thought process was, and I said it before when we were watching the game, if Amorim genuinely starts Højlund, and this is not even to just criticise him too much, but if he starts Højlund and we lose, or we don't score a goal, or we don't create anything, genuinely, Amorim's only got himself to blame after that. Because my opinion, if you keep, I know people rinse this phrase like loads of times, but if you just keep on doing the same thing over and over again, nothing has changed. Like, we watched it today, we watched Højlund come on the pitch. Genuinely, I think someone said we were watching it, is Højlund still playing? Like, is he still on the pitch? Because nothing happened. Like, there was no difference. I genuinely feel like we could put one of our 10s as a striker and he would do a better job. Like, I feel like we could put Mount there, or Bruno there, or Garnacho there.
He did put Cobby there.
Yeah, Cobby there. We've seen every single player get put as a striker, not every single player, but a lot of players get put as a striker and have better games, or just more impactful games than Højlund. And now that Zirkzee's out, I'm so worried at the fact that we have nobody available to actually play in that position.
You might see a Kobbie Mainoo false 9 again.
Yeah, I want it to. I genuinely wouldn't mind it. Like, I would not mind anybody else there.
I've got to be honest, I'd rather see something different than play Højlund. I just think when we played Højlund last Thursday, he was, it sounds harsh saying this word, but he was useless. He doesn't offer us anything. Like, he does not offer us anything. We would benefit from changing the system up a little bit, to at least you've got a player who can get on the ball and have some kind of influence on, whether that's a Bruno false 9 or a Mainoo false 9. I'd rather
changing the system isn't the answer.
Amorim's not going to change the system.
I don't mean change the formation. I mean, like.
Oh, okay.
I mean by not playing a striker. I mean by playing like a false 9.
So like you did with Cobby.
Yeah. I don't mean.
I was going to say. I was like.
I mean.
It's too late for that.
I mean, like change. Don't play a striker is what I'm saying. You know, whether that's a Bruno false 9 or a Mainoo false 9, I'd rather see that than play Højlund.
The thing is, it's not just that though, it's the progression up the pitch as well. Like, you need players like Bruno and Mainoo deeper, because again, today we were just, especially in the second half, we were just stuck. We couldn't progress the ball up the pitch, and that's another issue. And that's an issue why Højlund's struggling, because he's getting nothing, and he's not helping himself either. But we cannot physically progress the ball up the pitch.
But
I don't hear that.
We can't get through the first line. We
mate.
can't get through the first line of the press.
But however, in that first half, mate, Zirkzee was, ask Bayern Day, Zirkzee was an outball all half. He was smashing it up to Zirkzee. Zirkzee was holding it up. He don't even want to try.
That's why it's even more of a problem now, because it's going to have to be Højlund, because you can't start experimenting in the quarter-final. Højlund's got a decent record in Europa. He's going to have to stick with him. Cheeto's not in the squad.
I disagree.
That's it.
I don't think his record in Europa is that good. He hasn't scored since Victor Pleasant, which was at the start of December. That's like 5 months away.
I'm with you, Maud. I don't want to see him.
Like, and I get it. We have to do it. I understand that we don't have that many options, so it is a bit of a risk to even put somebody else there anyway, because obviously Chilwell's not available because he's not registered or something like that.
Whoever didn't register him, by the way.
Yeah, like, so there is. I understand that there's no over real option, so I get it if he does start. It would obviously make sense, but genuinely, like, there's no real there's no confidence right now that I have that we're gonna score, or not even to just play well in that final third with Højlund as our striker.
So what would you do on Thursday?
Like I said, I get it if he does start because we don't have anybody else. Like, I get it. Like, it's literally a case of this is the only player that we have who's on number 9. Like, if we were to, actually, you know what? If it was me, I would take the risk. I would take the risk, because even the last game we played against Lyon, the difference between Højlund on the pitch and not on the pitch was actually a huge difference. We actually scored when Zirkzee came on the pitch. So to me, I would risk it. I'd risk it and I'd put somebody else there. Whether it is I don't know, like you said, play a false 9, whether it is playing a Mainoo there or playing a Bruno as a false 9 or Mount or whoever else, even maybe not Garnacho, but somebody else there, I would risk it, because how much work, could it really be that much worse if we play somebody else? Yeah. I don't think it can.
Honestly, I'd probably play Bruno.
I do think a big issue that we have is, though, just to kind of go on to that, and I think Zirkzee helps himself massively because he is an out ball and he can hold up the ball, and he does get you up the pitch because he's technically good on the ball, and he's always scanning, he knows where people are around him. But we massively struggle, and Amorim continues to persist with it, and I get why he does, because it's the way he wants to play, of playing out from the back, but we can't get past the first line of the press because our players aren't confident enough on the ball, aren't good enough on the ball, can't carry the ball, and then your striker's left with nothing. Zirkzee can help because he is good on the ball and he can carry the ball and he gets himself in positions to receive it, but Højlund doesn't have that, so it leaves himself with absolutely nothing, and it is like playing with 10 men. It is like playing with 10 men. Højlund isn't good enough, but we aren't good enough at getting out of our own half as well as that.
Yeah, that shouldn't even be like...
The team should be relying on the striker to help that, but he doesn't help it.
That's just a requirement to be in the football team. Like, you've got to show yourself to
Harry Maguire centre forward.
You've got to show.
You know what?
Honestly, I think it'd be better. I'm sorry to say it. Like, I really don't rate Højlund. I would rather play Maguire up front.
I think a lot of people... when we saw Zirkzee go down with a hamstring in the studio and we're watching it, we were like, no.
Yeah.
Like, hey, doesn't it show how far he's come, considering the last Newcastle game that we played, he was going off at the 34th minute and a lot of people were writing him off.
Yeah, I mean, I remember, obviously, the other Newcastle game, he got subbed off really early, and now, same team, he's got injured against them, and it's a completely different reaction. Everyone's so upset. It's like as the season's over. But it's understandable. He's improved so much, and it shows how far he's come. He is, at the moment, one of our best players, whether you like it or not.
Does it also show like the other players aren't stepping up enough?
It shows, well, we can't score goals, and he was one of the few who's actually playing with a bit of confidence. I mean, as you said before, was it Mod, the way he got injured, he skips past 4 players and then gets a hamstring. He's one of the only ones doing that right now, and that's why it helps with the progression I was saying before, because he's one of the players who'll drop in, he'll pick up a ball, he'll give a 1-2, or he'll dribble past a few players. He's actually got that confidence, and to lose that, it's a big blow. Especially
because in that game, I actually can't remember a shot we had apart from the Garnacho one, apart from the one that Zirkzee had. I can't remember the other shot that we had. Yeah. Got some super chats in, then we're going to talk about the keeper situation. Adoni says, a bit of blame on the manager for not giving Bayern Day enough games. 3 of 4 goals, not the keeper's fault. Players not embarrassed at losing that badly. Ryle says, hi Beth, love the insights from the team. Are you concerned that Amorim not coaching a draw? This will upset the team mentally for Thursday. Would you keep Bayern Day in for Thursday? Keep up the good work. That seems to be everyone's question. We'll get that in. Ezzy Joe says, big up to the panel, much love from Singapore. Anyways, this might be the worst United squad I've ever seen. The moment Zirkzee went out, it was all over. It is the worst United squad I've seen, ever. Anthony Tracy says, Amorim's 3-4-3 needs 2 8s in midfield and we have 0 of them. Tolozio says, Ugarte is an average player. It is not good enough for United midfielder to be only good at winning the ball back. Carrick was excellent on the ball with good interceptions as well. Fletcher, good too. Marco Cassina says, feel bad for Bruno, he was so frustrated. And Siraj Mukji says, Altay instills more confidence within the box and shot stopping. I saw glimpses which tells me we'll win versus Lyon. Lyon being Kev, worried about Zirkzee loss. I think you mean with him being in goal, you feel more confident with Bayindir. I mean, Ugarte is a really good one to talk about because some people are naming him man of the match, some people are saying he's not good enough, and then Bayindir is a big one as well. Let's go through, get your comments in, let us know what you think. Hayden, I'll start with you. Sorry, putting you in the hot seat. Would you go with Bayindir or Onana on Thursday?
Pick your poison. Genuinely. I don't have confidence in either of them. I think but this was Bayindir's tryout for me today and I think he's failed. I think honestly, as much as it pains me to say, before today I would have said Bayindir, but I think you have to go back to Onana and just pray that he can find some sort of form back. But honestly, you could go either way.
I was thinking that Eli Harrison good enough. Eli Harrison's one of the...
Tom Heaton, honestly, throw him in there.
Mate, I was waiting for me time to say, honestly. Surely Tom Heaton, is rated a bit more. I don't know what Tom Heaton's contract at United is, but there must be like a 0 game time clause in it. Mate, the guy was a top Premier League keeper for like 7-8 years. He's got a bit of experience, Onana has played like is this his 3rd professional season in the last like 7-8 years because he had the massive ban? Like, Heaton's experience, man, I'd give Heaton a go, genuinely. I don't rate Bayindir. I said on the build-up show I don't rate Bayindir. I don't like the revolutionism of everyone's going mad about Bayindir. You're only doing that because Onana's bad. The only reason people are talking Bayindir up is because of how bad Onana is. Bayindir is not a good keeper. We've seen it against Spurs. We've seen bits of the Arsenal game. He's not a good keeper. I've genuinely... I'm not clip farming, I'm not doing nothing mad. I genuinely, hand on heart, believe Tom Heaton is the best goalkeeper at Man United.
To be fair to Bayindir today though, shot stopping wise, which is what our main concern has been with Onana, did he do much wrong? He made that good save when he gets up.
I don't think he did much good though.
No, I'm not saying he was good. He was bad. Like that goal where he kicks it, awful. But does Onana save the one where he gets up quick and gets down?
But the only reason he did that is because he palmed it out to him. He actually made a mistake.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like pick your poison. But I'm just trying to throw another argument in.
Onana's probably more comfortable on the ball, but Bayindir is better at shot stopping. So it's like...
I'll be real. You know what it is with me? I think they're just the same person because both of them on the ball. I don't genuinely feel Onana's that good on the ball. I've not seen him do anything.
He's more comfortable. He's not going to just pass it to one of their defenders.
He's more likely he's going to kick it out.
No, right. As in distributing, and we're talking about very low level stuff here. I'm not talking.
That's what I mean. I'm not
talking about good keeper distribute. I'm not talking Edison levels. I'm just talking about when Onana has the ball at his feet. I don't think he's going to trip over it or pass it to one of their players. I don't think he's going to get nervous on it. Whereas Bayindir, I have that feeling. Onana's distribution isn't good. He often just kicks it long to their players. I get that. But when he's actually on the ball in close proximity, I don't feel like he's going to mess up. Whereas Bayindir, I think on the ball, he worries me. Shot stopping wise though, like Hayden said, getting down for that one, he just looks more agile. He looks more capable of stopping the ball going in the back of the net.
Yeah, I mean...
Onana's heavy getting down.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I still feel like distribution are both the same. Because even the mistake he made today, he just tried to clear it and it was a bad clearance. It wasn't even like he tried to pass it to someone and it was like he tried to clear it out and it was a terrible clearance. I've seen Onana do the same thing bad time. In fact, I remember what game was it where he tried to pass it to Casemiro and Casemiro was giving red card or something like that. It was in the cup or something.
League,
the Champions League last season.
He saved the pen after.
And he saved the pen.
Yeah.
It was the same thing. They both had to clear it out. It was a bad pass and we ended up almost conceding a goal for the last one anyway. Galatasaray, yeah. So for me, they're both just as bad or as good as each other, whatever you want to put it. And then shot stopping, Again, like there's nothing really in between them. I've seen Onana make good saves before against Ipswich. Do you not remember that game, the season?
Yeah.
The same thing. They've both done great saves. They're both professional goalkeepers. They can both make a good save.
Every keeper at some
Every
point
keeper can make a good save. It doesn't mean
yeah.
that they're actual good keepers. They can just do it every now and then. Both of them, I feel like, are just as a big of a liability as each other. I don't know. I don't have much faith in either of them right now.
Do you know what? I just will just close my mouth on the goalkeeping situation. I won't even talk about it.
No, Onana, we were saying this on the build-up as well. Onana must be a good goalkeeper to have played for Barcelona, semi-final with Ajax, final with Inter Milan. And there's a reason we signed him. At the time, obviously not a lot of people wanted to get rid of De Gea, but as the replacement, Onana was people were excited about, and he's just completely tanked. Is it Man United or what is it like?
I don't know.
Partly is Man United.
Probably, yeah. I mean, look, Alexis Sanchez was a very good player.
You can name about 10 players who've gone worse.
It's happened so many times where we've signed good players and then they come to United and they're just the shadow of what they were. So I don't know what curse it is, or I don't know.
Well, let's give a one-word answer. Who, and you do in the chat as well. Who are you starting on Thursday, Maud?
Goalkeeper. Binder. They're the same guy.
Look, my honest opinion, Heaton. However, it's probably not realistic. So between.
This is like if you showed someone this one like 10 years ago, I think it was a comedy sketch from United. Who you're obviously starting in a quarter-final. I think Heaton.
Tom Heaton might do a job for us.
Like, if it's between Onana and Bayern, I'd go. Oh my God.
I love Tom, by the way. I do love Tom.
Can I just say this though? One thing about Bayern that I haven't seen. Well, maybe in the Tottenham game actually. The Tottenham game was really bad, but with Onana, it's the scary thing with Onana for me is the simplest things. That's where I feel like I have the least confidence in him. It's like even the Lyon game, both of the saves, but as a professional goalkeeper, the two very simple saves that he could have made. I don't know if Bayern is still making those mistakes as bad as Onana. So for me, that's why I stay Bayern there.
It's like. For me, if we get into Old Trafford in that Lyon game and they get a free kick on like the edge of the box,
it's a goal.
I'm thinking all I have to do is a Lyon player literally get it on target anywhere and it's going. Even bounce it in front of him, he's probably going in.
Yeah.
And me as a United fan in the stands, I'm going to be like this. I just know he's not safe.
You have to think it's not just the effect on like the fans as well, it's the effect on the players. We've seen as well with Maguire, he can't even, he's clearing it. Onana's asking for the ball, he's clearing it. We've seen after the game the look on some of the players. Bruno looks devastated. It's going to start affecting the team, and I generally think that's one of the reasons Onana weren't even in the squad today. Because if you've just gone away to Lyon, you've managed to get yourself ahead in a quarter final of a European tie, and he's just thrown 2 goals away, you'd be fuming. And like. He's just negative having him around, and it's not reflecting well on the team.
Do you think as well, maybe it was a question to the chat, or anyone who thinks Onana should play? Because in my opinion, the pressure that he put on himself that last game made him worse. I thought that pressure made him 10 times worse than it probably should have been. Now that he's been dropped completely, surely if he were to go and play that Lyon game again, the pressure is now 100 times worse than it is now. Now we might see the worst Onana we've ever seen in this next Lyon game if he starts, because this is like the most pressure he's ever had in his career now.
A lot of people in the chat are saying who's better at penalties because it might go there. That's a good question.
We've not even seen Bayern with
with
Arsenal game.
He looked pretty deep.
Yeah, you'd have to say Bayern then based on that.
And Onana saved one as well.
Onana has saved one.
But with Onana, it's not getting to penalties.
You just.
To be fair, we lost the Charity Shield one to City. I know a lot of people were laughing at that because
he was pointing, telling Haaland where to go.
Yeah, and Haaland just smacked it.
Do you know what? It sounds nuts, this, but if I've got to pick between Onana and Bayern, I've seen Onana have more good games than Bayern.
Can you see them play more though?
Yeah, exactly.
Onana's more experienced.
I'm picking if I've got Onana's got some small level of.
He played in a Champions League final.
He's got some level of experience where I'm closing my eyes while I'm watching the game, but I'm picking Onana and I'm just hoping and praying.
He has played in a Champions League final where Inter Milan were very unlucky to lose that game. They lost 1-0 and Onana was brilliant and Lukaku couldn't hit a barn door. I don't know, it's tough. But he's not that same player now.
He's not. Sancho played in a Champions League final.
Yeah.
Do you want him back?
The thing is with Onana, he creates his own problems because he's so, like, before the Lyon game, what he was saying, he was so arrogant. And even like we were talking about the penalty shot then where he's pointing, he's arrogant, but he doesn't back it up. like Emi Martinez, he's a knobhead. He'll say whatever he wants, but he backs it up by being one of the best keepers in the world. Onana doesn't do that. You can't be bad and arrogant.
Well, let's put a poll in the chat. Bayern or Onana for Thursday. I think for Amorim, it's a poison chalice. If he goes with Bayern and Bayern has a shocker, everyone's going to say, "Oh, you should have stuck with."
No, I don't think people say that. I think people have given up on Onana.
Do you know what? Can we put Heaton in the pit? Because on Thursday,
he's going to win.
I just want to see something because on Thursday
he's not going to play a third keeper.
On Thursday, it was like we did this poll and it was like 80% picked Bayern, 10% picked Onana and 10% picked Heaton. I just want to see if it's changed. I just want to see if anyone else
be honest.
jumped
Everyone's got to be honest though.
I just want to see if anyone's jumped ship since Thursday, that's all.
So we're going Bayern, Onana.
Matic. Get Matic back in that. Bring him back.
You've got to pick one.
Onana, but yeah, purely for experience.
Yeah, I'm doing the same. I'm picking Onana because
why don't we put
every now and then he has a good game.
Why don't we put Højlund in goal and Onana up front? Might get
I said that. I was thinking that on Thursday. Yeah.
Might get better return out of it. Get your comments in.
Onana on that first goal went top corner. He flicked it up in the top corner for the second goal. He put it on the plate for Cherky. Lovely, didn't he?
Rob, Always United, said, Beth, loads of people are piling in on Ugarte. Is it just me who thinks he's brilliant at breaking up play and covers a ridiculous amount of ground? Who wants to start an Ugarte conversation? A lot of people going in on him. For me, this again brings me back to top coaches and top teams, and the way you play. What you've got to do is highlight a player's strengths and cover up their weaknesses. Ugarte's weaknesses is sometimes he can be pressed and he's not the best at passing under pressure. However, he's excellent at breaking up play, getting good interceptions and starting off counter-attacks and starting off turnovers, basically. And he does cover a lot of ground. He's a monster in there. He's got a lot of strengths. He's got some weaknesses. Every player does. You need someone next to him that accentuates that, and I don't think we have that. Yeah,
I agree. I saw someone put it on Twitter. They put it in a good way. Ugarte, for me, is a floor raiser, not a ceiling raiser. Like, he lifts us up because we were literally at the ground, like we were terrible, and he's brought our levels to a decent level. But if we were to actually get to a next level, I'm talking about like a Premier League competing team, from what I've seen so far, he can obviously progress. I'm not saying he can never get better, but from what I've seen so far, a guy's not the kind of player he's going to take us to a Premier League title. I can't see that right now. Like I said, he might eventually become that player, but right now I don't see that. So for me, I don't think he's a bad player at all. I think he played decent today. I think he's been playing decent. In fact, this is another case of how United fans are very, very like reactionary, because there was one point in the season where everyone loved Ugarte, and I don't want to hear no one even like say they didn't, because every single time they did a poll or anything like that, everyone was like, yeah, they loved Ugarte, like he has to start, and now all of a sudden he's not good enough. Like, how can that just change so quickly?
He's getting picked for man of the match. Like,
he's getting picked for man of the match. Yeah, I know. So people are just, I feel like people are just being very, very like reactionary to maybe like a few like poor games, not even poor games, but just few like underwhelming games, considering he did get injured for a little bit. So look, I'm not on this whole like Ugarte can't start for United. I think right now the level that we're at, he's actually a good player. And yes, like I said, if the next 2-3 years we are competing for titles, I don't necessarily feel like he's going to be good enough then to actually take us to that next level. But for right now, he's definitely good enough. Yeah,
I thought he was just average today. I mean there was sometimes in the first half where he was losing the ball quite a bit. But he did kind of revive himself a little bit, not setting up the first goal, but setting up Dalot to run on and to then set up Garnacho. So we did kind of paint over the cracks with that. But yeah, I don't think he had like a stinker. I've seen him play worse than today. Do you know what I mean? I think people they've got to pick someone, haven't they, to try and stick it on sometimes. I mean, today, I don't know. I just don't think we were that bad for the first 50 minutes. I think it just, the momentum got on top of us more than anything. I think that the way the third goal for Newcastle went in with the slip, I think everyone's heads just dropped, and Zirkzee going off didn't help as well. But yeah, I don't know. I've got a bit of a weird feeling today, because they did show me enough in the first half where I was like, yeah, we're at the races. Lioro played good, Zirkzee played good, Dalot played good. Like, we weren't awful. I wasn't like unpleased with it, do you know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's difficult, but I did think Ugarte was one of our best players today. Not that it was a hard competition. I thought he could have been 6 if he weren't playing. Like, the ground he covers, the tackles he makes, yes, his passing isn't the best, we all know that. But for this stage where we're at, we need him. He has to start. Like, who else can play that position? Casemiro doesn't have the legs. He's the only one who can play it. And yeah,
I genuinely think he stops like 3 goals today just purely by the ground and duels he covers.
Ugarte as well, I don't think he was helped by the fact Lindelof was the central midfield, so not central, but he basically was central centre-back that was dropping into the midfield to pick up the ball with Ugarte, and Lindelof just looks so rusty and slow. And then Ugarte's getting pressed, and then, you know, the wing-backs are stepping inside and Binder's not finding him, and the whole build-up play just weren't working. And I think Ugarte and Lindelof got past the balls in a lot of areas where they don't have the ability to take it on the turn and come out of that situation. We badly need, and I think Mainu can do this, a midfielder that can drop in next to Ugarte and can make themselves available, and has the technical ability and strength to take the ball on the half turn and basically take it out and dribble it out through the midfield, or take it into the midfield like Frankie de Jong does. Like that. Yeah. I'm not saying him, but somebody like that, and I think Mainu is that. If Mainu can get up to the physical ability needed to cover the amount of ground, but Ugarte does that anyway, but he's to cover a bit more ground because we know that's Mainu's weakness. I think that too would be a good pairing. I really do.
Ugarte's probably covering double the ground today as well. I mean, the midfield.
When you've got Eriksen in midfield
exactly,
as well.
That's what I was going to. I mean, the midfield on Thursday was pretty good, but you've took Casemiro out, lost a load of physicality there, a lot of bite, and you've replaced it with Eriksen, which, let's be honest, he's probably the least aggressive, least tenacious player at the club. I mean, Ugarte's got twice the job to do then.
Yeah, I've said it before loads of times that Ugarte and Mainu has been our best midfield pairing. Obviously, yes, Bruno has been Bruno. So I don't even include Bruno in these conversations because he's genuinely this season's been our best player for most of the games. But Ugarte and Mainu complement each other very, very well because they both kind of cover up, like Beth said, they cover up each other's weaknesses, and they kind of, their strengths kind of help each other in the case of, you know, Mainu being able to carry the ball forward, being composed on the ball, knowing when and where to pass the ball to. And this whole like physical thing with Mainu, I get it, like he's not the quickest, he's not the most, you know, like strongest or whatever, but I feel like that just kind of comes down to the midfield just having enough players there, because last season we had we were obviously playing with a 3-man midfield, and there was no complaint about Mainu's physicality. There was no complaint about Mainu not being quick enough and whatnot. Because right now we're playing with this 2 midfield and then 2 10s. If we have 2 10s that don't want to get back, if we have 2 10s that just want to stay forward and pretty much play as 2 wingers, then anyone you put in that 2 midfield is going to struggle. Anyone, it don't matter who you put there, regardless of who they are, they're going to struggle if you just have only 2 players in that midfield. So if we have a midfield of 3 players, whether it's Bruno, Ugarte, Mainu or Casemiro or whoever it is, if you have 3 players in the midfield that can actually help each other and actually put in the work, you're not going to have problems with physicality. Like I said, we didn't have those problems last season, so we won't have the problems this season again.
I agree with that. I think in Ugarte's defence, it's almost impossible to progress the ball up the pitch if you've not got won that midfield battle. Like, he has no options. Bruno, as we know, he wants to attack. He's brilliant at it. Eriksen was a ghost. I didn't even see him the whole game. Garnacho's waiting for the break for the counter-attack all the time. Where are the options?
Bruno, when he does, it must have been instruction, because when he does drop in deep, he actually is pretty good at picking up the ball and moving the ball forward, but that just didn't happen enough today. No. Didn't help. It was like Ugarte was basically on his own, basically, with Lindelof next to him.
We didn't learn from the last game against Newcastle. The same thing happened. We lost the midfield battle. They've got one of the best midfields, and the same thing happened again today.
It's just a better midfield.
Their midfield is brilliant. We've got to say, their midfield is really good.
Class of 99 says Ugarte offers nothing in possession or going forward. Onana, not arrogant, just trying to display false confidence, needs to keep it simple and get out of his own head. I think the Ugarte bit is hard. Offers nothing going forward. He was literally the reason we scored our first goal through that great interception.
I hate when people say that. I just don't watch a game.
So
it's just dumb.
You do. He does offer something going forward. He's great in the turnover and regaining possession and setting us off on the break. Yeah, okay. He got pressed off the ball, but he's on the midfield on his own with no help. Like I said, you just need to complement him and play to his strengths. And we've got we've got some players who generally do have ability, and we need to help them. There's some players that, yeah, there's Deadwood, we need to clean the house, but Ugarte is one of them that we can build with, I think, anyway. Got more super chats coming in as well. We have Roy Law says Ugarte doesn't get in top 6 sides, isn't worth 50 mil, so why are we still overpaying? It could have been spent on attack. Collier does the same job. Anthony Tracy says PSG sold Ugarte and bought João Neves, big upgrade. Now, João Neves is absolutely a different level, insane, yeah. But like we've said numerous times again, we're not at that level.
Yeah, he's above Man United level. Right
He
now,
is.
yeah.
We're not in a position where you can spend 100 million on one player, which is what they were wanting from us. Sean Turner says, De Ligt, Dorgu, Yoro, Heaven, Ahmad Mainu and Bruno are the only players worth keeping. Everyone else will be up for sale. The squad is shocking. Ezzy Joe says, question for the panel, can we win the Europa League? Yeah, of course we can. We're in it. Whether we will is different. You know, we've got to get past Lyon, which we can do. I think without Zirkzee, it's a hit, but I still think we can do it. And then semi-final's going to be against either Athletic Club or Rangers. That's currently drawing that game. Both of them will be tough, but I'd rather have Rangers, but that will probably come back to bite me because they'll probably. But you know, you can do it. Then you get through to a final, and anything can happen. Yeah. So
we can be a bit positive. The Europa League's one thing we can be a bit positive about. Still unbeaten. I thought we played very good on Thursday. Thought we let down by a goalkeeper. You take that out of the equation, we were very, very good away from home performance. We're going back playing the second leg at Old Trafford. There is bits to be positive about. The lads just need to turn up.
Lewis says, if he failed, would Onana have done better? As in, like, would Onana have done better today than Binder? Probably not.
Probably similar. Probably not.
Ethan Bradshaw says, writing off overplayed youth club is in the mud. Super Donut says, Beth's opinion is invalid. She wanted Onana in. Fair enough. Adoni says a bit of blame on the management not giving Binder enough games. 3 or 4 of goals, not the keeper's fault. Players not embarrassed at losing badly. I think I've done all of them now. And Ian Tracy says it's very difficult to judge Ugarte when our midfield is not compact. He's been left to do the work of 2 players in so many games this season. I think you bang on the money there. I want to bring in some Roy Keane quotes because they are pretty damning. I'll read out a few things. So, Bruno Fernandes says, my teammates, they just frustrate me because I know how good they can be. I know how difficult it is to represent this club. They want to give a lot to the club to win because we know that if we win, we'll be remembered to win something with this club. So trying to get behind his teammates ahead of a really important game in the Europa League where it's a chance of winning a trophy. Captaincy-wise, you know, he's going through the approach of backing them publicly. Roy Keane has said, based on this Bruno Fernandes quote, he's talking about his teammates there and belief, but what about his right back who didn't put a leg up or try to tackle for the goal from Dalot? I hope he's pulling him into the dressing room because he needs to keep talking about belief. Because he keeps talking about belief in the players and in my teammates, but a really good teammate puts their hands on each other, whether that's on the pitch or in the dressing room or in the training ground during the week, and basically tells them they should be doing better.
Well, how do you know he didn't do that?
Yeah, you'd hope they are doing that behind the scenes, but publicly he's not going to throw his teammates under the bus before a quarter-final, is he?
Roy Keane chat's just so
You would hope they are, but one thing that got to me a little bit, which I thought, wow, we have no leaders in this team. None. Maybe Bruno, that's probably it. There's some elements of leadership, but Bruno, I think, is probably the only leader we had on the pitch today anyway. You have a situation where Harry Armas is getting absolutely bullied for about 5 minutes, and the only one player who comes and gets involved is Lenny Yoro, who's 19. What the heck is that about? Imagine Roy Keane being on that pitch. Imagine I don't know, any player of
Wazza
any...
or someone
Wazza or anyone really. But it's Lenny Yoro who has to, after about 5 minutes of watching it, has to go to Shah, and he just continues to do it. Harry Armas, it's his first Premier League start for Manchester United. He's tiny against Shah. It's like, for example, do you remember when Roy Keane was going in on Gary Neville? Not Roy Keane. Vieira was going in on Neville in the tunnel, and Roy Keane says, "Pick on someone your own size." That's what you do. That's what players at this club who knows what it means to wear the shirt and have won things do. And it's not the end of the world, but it really kind of showed to me where we're at. That it took Lenny Yoro, of all people, to go and give a bit to Fabian Schär.
It was the same story in the derby as well. Just no aggression, no passion. And even today, we had a decent first half. We concede instantly after half-time, which is something we do quite a lot. And then all of a sudden, we just fall apart. It's a terrible second half. We've just got, as you say, no leaders in that squad.
I've seen Martinez do that before, though.
Yeah, and we're missing him.
Yeah.
And also, it's like the fact Lindelof ended up being captain by the end of the game. What is going on?
Shows the lack of quality, doesn't it?
I don't even know what that means.
The fact he's still starting games for us.
I honestly, just on Lindelof 1 second, that was it. The third goal where Barnes, I think Mazraoui slips, which, by the way, happened. That wasn't the first time that had happened. That happened a lot throughout the game. I don't know what sort of boots they were wearing.
They were all wearing blades because some of them go down. All of them.
I'm starting to think we're being sabotaged.
They should have changed the boots at half time, mate, because all the way through the first half they were slipping. We nearly conceded because Dalot slipped.
Yeah. But then Barnes gets the ball and we have 3 centre backs and he just runs in a straight line, no sort of movement through the middle of all of them. Like, how is that possible? We're playing a back 3 and you can just run in a straight line through all of them and put the ball in the net.
It's like they completely underestimated.
Lindelof should not be playing. He's going on a free in the summer anyway. There's no value in him. Play Kokonki, play anyone.
But do you know what it is as well? It's like people will be saying, oh, you're scapegoating Lindelof, which a few people have said. Lindelof I expect more from because 1, he's experienced, 2, he's been at the club for a long time, and 3, he's playing as a central centre-back and someone's just run straight through the centre of your defence. You might as well have just gone, go on through. You might as well have just done
It's embarrassing.
Frustrating. Got more super chats coming in as well. Marco says, Beth, you are beautiful. Keep up the good work. Cheers from Portugal. Thank you very much. Noah says, also, Amos low-key looks like a baller. He had a better touch than Dorgu. That's a good battle to have. Would start Amos again, but respect to both. Noah says the Ugarte agenda is crazy. He was one of the best players on the pitch today. He is 1 versus 3 in the middle every game. Start by day. He's just rusty. Play him. Ian Tracy says it's very difficult to judge Ugarte. I've done that one. Thank you for your super chat.
Just on Ugarte as well, we were talking about lack of leaders and lack of aggression. Ugarte's one of the only ones with that. You can tell he gives his all in that shirt, and you can tell he has passion. But you can't say that for 9 out of the 11 players there.
We're in a situation where you're going into the rest of the season, and that Thursday night game against Lyon really is like everything. It is the big. I mean, every Europa League becomes the biggest game of our season. Every Europa League game. Yeah. But could you imagine the mood and the feeling for the rest of the season if we caught that up on Thursday?
I don't want
to think about it.
I'm going into that game full positive, man. I'm looking forward to it, to be honest.
No, we've got to win at all costs. Like, there's no...
Yeah, we've got to.
Even if someone's got to get a red card, do a Luis Suarez, ball off the line, we've got to win at all costs.
Imagine we get a red early on.
Yeah.
Okay, so Joshua Zirkzee update on the injury. Fabrizio Romano has put out Joshua Zirkzee suffers muscle injury as he's been subbed off in the second half. Ruben Amorim has said Zirkzee versus Lyon, I think that is over. So he's not going to be available on Thursday, and it's probably going to be a few weeks as well. We were Googling during the game how long it takes for a hamstring, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3 to heal. I'm like, do you think it's a grade 1 or grade 2? It's not a grade 3, we don't think, which is a full-on
No, he'll be out for 3-4 weeks.
Yeah, Dr. Tull.
Yeah, he'll be 3-4 weeks.
He knows. Is that your prognosis?
Come on.
The thing is, you never know with a hamstring. It can be months or it can be a few days, and it's
it didn't look
it won't be months. Trust me, guys. 3 to 4
we don't know.
He would have walked off.
3 weeks he's back in training.
When Saka...
No, even a grade 2...
You don't think he walked off?
Even a grade 2 though, it could be season over.
Yeah.
We'll just quickly touch on Harry Armas, and we're going to build our starting 11 for the Europa League game on Thursday. But we'll quickly touch on Harry Armas. What are everyone's thoughts on Harry? Got, I think, about 54 minutes there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My biggest compliment to him is he didn't look out of place, which...
I agree with
Is that a compliment?
Maybe not. But Premier League debut, away at St James's, solid shift. Wasn't a fault for any of the goals, I didn't think, which in this team is a compliment. Yeah, I thought he showed good energy, got up and down the line well, was proactive, and I thought decent touch.
Could argue he could have maybe been a bit more switched on for the second goal, but
but that was
that's tough though.
That was more on Dalot getting beat too easy, and then we switched off and let him, and no one picked up the Barnes in the middle. It was less on him, but yeah, he does look a tidy player, good, quite technical. I like him.
Quite technical. That is the word that has been mentioned when it comes to Harry Armas, how technically good he is. They were a bit worried about his physical capabilities going into Premier League games, which we saw with the Shah thing. He was getting pushed a bit, but you know what?
Why is he even on Shah?
I don't think physically anything. Zonal marking is stupid.
So stupid.
Everything throughout the game, I never saw him got bullied throughout the game. So good on him. I thought he looked good in pre-season. I think he's someone we should watch out for the future. It's massively early days. He didn't pull up any trees, but he's hopeful for him, and I definitely would be comfortable with him battling that position with Dorgu and starting again another game. To be honest with you, they're both young players, so the fact he's 17 as well or maybe he's just turned 18. Harry Armas, it shows the fact at 18 you're playing it away at St James's, you've got the trust of the manager to do so. I get it's a bit of a dead rubber game, but still, it shows us. I think there's a big future there for him.
Yeah, I agree.
Simply Red says, does Maud still not see the difference between Joshua Zirkzee and Rasmus?
When did I say
I think it was like right at the start of the season.
Okay, when he was terrible, yeah. I know, it's been like 10 months or 10.
No, I was on Zirkzee's back at the start of the season. But I give second chances out. And yeah, he's took his chance. I love him now.
Before we make our starting 11 for the quarter, I just want to quickly give a bit of a shout out to Lenny Yoro. I thought he looked like one of the senior experienced players in that team today, which is nuts to even say.
First half he was brilliant. He wasn't like shocking in the second half. He wasn't as bad. He wasn't worse than anyone else. But first half in particular, he was one of the best players.
Bruno getting a lot of stick in the chat.
He had a poor game today, I thought. I don't think he got involved enough, especially you're under the cosh away at St James's. You're losing the midfield battle, you're getting pressed. Especially in the second half, we were awful. I didn't show why he was captain. He didn't come and get the ball, he didn't make anything happen. And it's hard to go in on him because for months he's been our best player and everyone's allowed an off game. But it shows where we're at as a team that when Bruno does have an off game, it's basically a loss, guaranteed.
And he got subbed off as well. He's obviously playing.
That was to rest him, though.
You are going to get tired, and maybe it is that fatigue on him as well.
I think that's to rest him. I think the sub was, we'd already had Zirkzee injury. I think Amarim was just conceding the game at that point.
That's what I was going to say. I feel like, because before we even started, I said, I really want to know what Amarim's like team talk was like, even before the game and at half time. Because what is he, because in my opinion, I know what Amarim's been saying, the Europa League can't save our season, and get it, it's a cup, and he doesn't want to do this whole Ten Hag thing and get a cup and feel like he's made it or anything like that. But surely Amarim at this point right now understands fully that he has to put all of his eggs into that Europa League basket, and that's definitely the reason why he took off Bruno. And also, I feel like he kind of said to the team as well, even maybe not today, maybe yesterday, whatever, but he definitely said to the team, look, our biggest game is Thursday. Prepare for Thursday. Like, make sure you're mentally ready for that Thursday game, because that is what matters. And yes, today we lost and no one wants to lose, but I feel like the team in general, even Bruno as well, the team in general has their heads fixed on the game next week. And I feel that's kind of shown a little bit in today's game.
Just a quick stat to bring in as well. 21 Premier League games for Man United under Ruben Amorim. 6 wins. They were against Fulham, Everton under Dyche, City away at the Etihad during peak City slump, in brackets what Greg said.
Yeah, they didn't win a single game that month.
Southampton, Leicester and Ipswich relegated teams. Relegation teams.
Shows where we're at, doesn't it? Massively.
Does that, can I just say, like, does that worry you about Amorim at all?
Does anyone want to say it?
Right.
I don't know if to say it.
No, because the players aren't good enough. Simple as that.
I was saying it, right, a few weeks ago. I was getting onto Amarim's back quite early, to be honest. However,
Yeah, you were.
I was seriously on Amarim's back.
You said Moyes would do a better job. Moyes gone flying.
Moyes is doing really good, by the way. Ever since I said that, Moyes has still only lost 1 game, by the way. Anyway, yeah, I was seriously on Amarim's back. However, even though we're not getting the results yet, since that, how long ago do you reckon that was? Like 6-7 weeks ago, where I was getting on his back.
Probably more.
We are playing better. Like, we are playing better. Like, that wasn't me having an agenda at the time. That was because we were seriously playing crap. Now, even though we're not getting results yet, we are playing better football. Today in the first half we were good. We were mint against Lyon midweek. I thought we were better than City on Sunday. I do think we're slowly... They're getting used to the system, I think. Look, it's not going to... We're not there yet, and we've eventually got to start putting wins on the table, because we can't go into next season, you know, halfway through the season, be 12th for something again, saying, well, oh, it'll come together eventually. No, he has got to get it. He's got to get something moving over this summer. He's got to get players in, and he's got to get us playing to a level next season where we can't be in the bottom half of the table next season. That's unacceptable. However, we're not going to be in a title race. I think we'd be lucky to be going for top 4. I said this on the build-up. If we're in and around 6th, we've got to sit our ego down. We've got to humble ourselves and say 6th would be a massive improvement. And it sounds mad, so mad. Say it. It's so mad, isn't it? But we've got to just look at it how it is. If we can get in and around 6th place next season. It's a massive improvement.
You got to understand as well, the team that we have right now, even if Amorim gets 5 players, like 5 good players, we still don't have a top 4 team. Now we still probably got a 6th place team or 5th or 6th place. He's probably got to have. I mean, Ten Hag brought in about 20 players. I mean, he's probably got to have that amount of players come in for him to actually be like, okay, boom, this is my team now. This is the team that I wanted. Now I can compete for a top 4 or even more than that. So I agree. I think next season will be around.
I saw a stat. I think by the time Ten Hag left, he spent like 600 million on signings.
Mate, United should take Ten Hag to court. Honestly, it is
he
absolutely
so
nuts.
Much money.
That window, Højlund, Onana, Amrabat, Mount window, mate. I'd take him to court. I'm not even joking. Seriously,
Anthony,
there's got to be a case there for that because that is
Anthony as well.
sabotage.
Yeah,
That was a window.
That was a window for, yeah. Anthony, what was it? Anthony, Mount, and Onana. That was the same window, wasn't it?
No, Højlund, Mount and Onana.
Højlund, Mount, and Onana, yeah.
And Amrabat.
He's
Jeez.
brought
Amrabat
in
won
a
us a.
lot.
But you'd like to think if Amorim got 600 million, we'd be in a lot better position.
No, we would. I think we would.
And I do think we have improved. Like defensively, I think we are quite solid now. Actually, the keeper isn't. But you have to remember today was a second string side. When we have our full strength side out, defensively we saw it against City. We are solid. The midfield, we have a progression issue, and the attack, we do struggle to score goals. That's obvious. But I don't think
That's personnel problems.
Exactly. That's not Amorim. He coaches wins a lot of the time, but we're just not taking those chances.
Yeah.
We need more technical players, and we need an experienced striker. And if we had that, then we would be 20 points better off.
It's City. We should have battered City. If Garnacho was on the bench again, if we had Ahmad instead of Garnacho for City, we'd have beat City 3-0.
I do think as well, if you watched a couple of games that Amorim was in charge of, in his first, 6 or 7 games at United, compared to the last 4, you would see a difference. I do think we are adapting to the system more, and I do think we are playing better football. And like you said, we deserve to win against City. When have we ever really come out and said that? Even in wins that we've had in recent years, there is progression there. It's very slow, and it's hard to tell people that when you're consistently losing games and you're consistently losing points. But there is some sort of progression. I think it's really hard for people to understand. A lot of these players, especially the attacking players, just nowhere near at the levels that are required.
And you have to remember as well, we've banged on about this, but he's still not had a pre-season at all. Every week it's the next game. We're playing 2 games a week. We're in Europe. He's still not had a pre-season. Give him time. It's not his fault at all.
Don't you think it shows I think it shows how much the fans believe in him and have that belief in him, that you do look at them stats, the 6 wins in 21 Premier League games, them being Fulham, Everton under Dyche, City during their slump, and then the relegation side, Southampton, Leicester and Ipswich. And the fact you away at St James's Park getting thumped 4-1, and the away fans, by the way, insane, still singing his name. We're all saying we still believe in him here. The majority of the chat are saying, can we ban Amorim out? We do believe in him, because I think we've seen enough at United to know that this manager merry-go-round isn't going to do it again, and we actually have a manager here that I think has had to handle a lot of stuff. And I think the majority of it he's handled really well and made the right decisions, had the balls to make the calls. Again today with the Onana situation, and has shown some sort of progression. We need to make sure that the hierarchy of this club backs him in the summer window.
I'm glad you brought up the hierarchy, because it goes further than Amorim as well. The last window, I'd say, success. Mazraoui, great success. De Ligt, great success. Yoro, I think's a great signing.
Zirkzee.
Heaven, oh my God, Heaven, awesome signing. What a signing. Zirkzee, I think is a good signing. I think that was a great window, and I think that's probably the best window we've had in a while. So if we can turn this into a trend, let's hope it's not a blip. Let's hope it wasn't just a random occurrence where they take over and we have a good window. Let's hope that that's the beginning of this trend now, where we sign more suitable players for the squad. And we've got to have a massive, massive summer again. We've got to have a bigger summer this summer now.
And in the summer as well, Rashford on loan, 40 million buy option, he could be going. Højlund, we've seen he's been linked to Serie A clubs. Is it a loan? Is it a permanent? Don't know. He could be going. Sancho, hopefully Chelsea buy him. I know he just scored today. 20 million coming
25
in?
mil.
25 mil for him. Eriksen and Lindelof, who both today were not good enough. Big wages, going to go on freeze. So there will be a lot of money freed up there if Sir Jim doesn't pocket it to go and spend. Do you know what I mean? We need to back in this window, and obviously if we're still 14th in a year's time, it's a different conversation.
We need to clean the house. We need to make sure we get rid of Deadwood and players that are unwanted, and Amrin's made it clear the players he doesn't want. I think that's why he put his foot down in the January window at getting them players out the door, despite the fact it has weakened us, because he knew how strong his position was. He knew his squad was getting weaker, but he knew he didn't want them players as part of the future, so he got them out, because this is probably the strongest position he's ever going to be in as United manager for a long time. So he did that, and I think he'll be very clear. And I know a lot of people said, we should have got him in the summer, and I agree with that. We should have gone and got him in the summer. But at least he knows now who he wants around and who he doesn't want around. And we need to clean house. I was watching an interview with Jose Mourinho, and he said that's the one thing that really, really set him back, is he wasn't allowed to get rid of the players he wanted to get rid of. And that's what we need to be able to do with Amrin. Of course, we've got to invest. Oh my gosh, the squad is thin and he needs some quality. But you don't have to spend hundreds of millions. You can find good quality for decent prices and spend your money accordingly. So,
do you think Amrin will still be here if he is, like you said, 14th in a year's time?
No,
not with any. I mean, you look at Nice. You go through managers like anything over there. So no, but I don't think we'll be 14th in a year's time. I hope we're not 14th.
I don't think we will. Definitely don't think we will. But yeah, I think if we're 14th in a year's time, we've got to bring somebody else in. I'll be honest.
Definitely.
But and sorry, I was just going to say, I know Amrin is stubborn. He is stubborn, but he has a way he wants to play, and he's not bending it. And I think that's, again,
all the best managers are stubborn.
It's the best managers are stubborn, and I think it's a cry out to Ineos saying, it ain't my problem, it's your problem, because these are the players that are not good enough. And I know so many people will be like, well, he should be able to get the best out of the players he's got. Why should he? He's starting, a new chapter at Manchester United, and he's brought in for a reason, to play the way he wants to play. Getting players that can do it.
At the end of the day, we've got a goalkeeper that can't save shots, a striker that can't score goals, and a midfield that can't pass the ball. So what do you want him to do? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we ain't got a football team, have we?
No.
What were you saying, Maud? Sorry.
I was going to say, the main difference I see with how Amrim's period or his tenure's kind of gone so far is, I feel like with the other managers we've had, they've kind of had a bit of more of a honeymoon period at the start of all of their managerial careers for United. Ollie went 40-something games away unbeaten. They won the first 17 games. Ten Hag had a great first full season, won whatever. Mourinho won straight away. Luke Van Gaal won trophies. And then eventually we started to see cracks and things kind of go downhill. With Amrim now, I feel like the fact that he's actually started in a difficult period, he's having to introduce himself to United in a difficult situation. We can only go up from here. And I think that's, in my opinion, I want to see that now, because I've seen us win a trophy straight away and everyone think that the manager's the best manager in the world, and then it's just cracked and gone through the floor. Now that Amrin's actually struggling, let's be honest, he is struggling, and he is saying, look, we are going to suffer, and it's going to be a very, very difficult for this period of time, but it is going to get better. I have more trust in him now, the fact that that's actually happening, because one, it can't get worse, but two, I feel like he is trying to build something, not instant success. He wants to build a long-term success instead of trying to win everything right now.
100%, and this is where I have the most amount of patience from the fans and everybody else. Luis Albren says, Beth, do you think we could play Højlund at centre-back? I hear you joking. We've got good centre-backs.
For the under-16s, yeah.
Luis Albren says, Beth, I like my ribeye steak crispy. I hate medium rare. Oh, that's from my vlog from Lyon. I was talking about steak in my vlog from Lyon. But, yeah, can I just say, anyone who has their steak over medium, nah.
Yeah, nuts.
Absolutely nuts. Can't back that. Anyway, less steak talk. Last 3 minutes of the show. What starting 11 would we start against Lyon on Thursday night? Goalkeeper, we've already spoken.
Yeah.
Me and would I go Bayindir? I think me and Maud are going Bayindir, and Hayden and Tull are going Onana. The poll is 37% Bayindir, 31% Heat, and 31%.
That's just because you said
Welcome to the train, everybody. I was here on Thursday. We took off on Thursday. Nobody got on board. You're all here now. I'll see you on Sunday, and we'll have it at 50%. It's a 300% increase in 3 days. That we're going places, people.
Can you believe that, by the way? 31% Onana, 31% Heat, and 37% Bayindir. It's basically near enough split 3 ways. That's United keeper situation. No other club would have that situation.
Yeah, that's funny.
But anyway, that's the situation we're on. Anyway, back three. We're going Mazraoui, Yoro, and Maguire because
Yeah.
De
Delight's
Ligt's
not available. Is
available.
he? Yeah, so I'm going those.
Heaven was back on the bench today, though.
Yeah,
which
but
is-
you can't throw him straight.
No, but it's nice to have him back.
He's a good sub. I'll put him on as a sub.
Yeah. Not a bad problem to have.
Wing backs were going Dargu and Dallo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Centre mid pairing.
Ugarte and Casemiro.
You got it, Maney. He's back. Play him.
I think don't change. It ain't broke. Don't fix it.
You don't think he's not broke?
I thought they were great against Lyon. I thought Ugarte and Casemiro were really good against Lyon. I thought they were good against City. So for me,
What game were you watching?
I thought
Against Lyon, I didn't think they were great. I think against City they were good.
I thought they were all right. I'm keeping them too
I just
personally.
think we can do better.
If we're going to see the Bruno that we've seen in the past few weeks, the disciplined Bruno, I would play him centre mid because I think his best football has been at centre mid. But if we see the Bruno we saw today, that's not, where we're losing the midfield battle, I would say mainly. But I would go Bruno because I don't think Lyon's midfield is as good as Newcastle's.
So you'd go Bruno and Ugarte.
Bruno and Gata, yeah.
I'd actually go Bruno, Ugarte, and then Maney in one of the 10s.
And you're going Casemiro.
Yeah, I think
Casemiro's been benched today, which means I think he will.
I think he was
start,
good. He was good against City, and I didn't have too. I thought him and Ugarte were good enough in that first leg against Lyon, to where I don't want to change it. So I'm sticking with it.
If we still had if we had that 2-1 lead and we didn't concede that last-minute goal, then yes, Casemiro. But I want to see a bit more creativity in midfield.
It was Onana's fault, man. I thought we played mint on Thursday.
Yeah, we
really did.
We did play well.
I haven't played. Honestly, I'm playing the same 11. To be honest,
Right.
I guess we have to play Highland.
I'm playing the same. I'm playing the same 11 we played on the first leg.
Starting Highland.
Gonna have to. No, I mean it's a massive call if he's going to change the Hoyland one, just because it means playing Bruno up top. You could maybe go Bruno, Mount Mainu as your front three. You're like, do you know what I mean? It sounds mad saying it. However, you can't get much more mad than starting Hoyland, can you?
This is interesting. Okay, so Casemiro, De Ligt and Ugarte would miss the first leg of the semi-final if they get yellowed in this leg. I mean, obviously, you just think about getting through to semi-final. De Ligt.
So if Casemiro and Ugarte both got booked, so they're both out.
They both be
I
out.
think you take it game by game, though, don't you? I don't think I don't think you can plan too much.
Everyone's saying Ugarte's suspended, but I think he's one yellow off being suspended. I'm not wrong in that. He says, Man United midfielder picked up a yellow on Thursday night. It's his second in the Europa League. If he gets another one, then he'd be suspended. He's not suspended.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so he probably will play, yeah. You're not going to go, I'm not going to start them because if they get a yellow. Imagine you go into it thinking like that and then you get spanked 4-0. You just be thinking, I'm a dickhead. Why don't I just play my best players?
Ugarte is very liable to get a yellow card, though.
So you're going Ugarte and Bruno. You're going Ugarte and Casemiro. No. I'm going to go Ugarte and Bruno. Sack it. 2 10s. What are you going with?
Maney Mount. Or Maney Garnacho.
I think I'm going to play Garnacho on the right, just because the amount of times we break on teams, and I think Garnacho, the one thing he is good at is he is good at getting us up the pitch. We've got to have some kind of legs in there, I think, because our full-backs don't quite do it just yet. Maybe they can be, once they understand the system a bit more. I think that's where we will drive up the pitch for our wing-backs. I'm going to play Garnacho on the right, which is mental for me to say, but I'm going to go on the left. It's a toss-up between Mainu and Mount. I'm happy with either one. I'd play Bruno up top.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
You can't do that. You need him deeper. You need him on the ball.
He'll get on the ball, mate.
No.
We'll have no striker.
No one there.
You think it's bad with Hoyland? We'll have no one.
Yeah, it's like having no one when Hoyland plays. I'd rather have Bruno because even though we've got no striker, at least the guy in the position will come back and get the ball.
With Hoyland, at least you've got someone to hit.
Good false 9 games, hasn't he?
Hoyland, mate, it's 10 men. We all keep saying it, it's 10 men. So what's the point in us sitting here saying, it's like 10 men with Hoyland?
Yeah, at least with Hoyland, Hoyland will occupy centre-backs, though. Bruno
doesn't, mate. He doesn't.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
He gets swallowed. He's the easiest striker to play against of all time. At least Bruno will give him something to think about because he won't be there. He'll be dropping in, getting the ball somewhere else.
What I will say is, though, if Bruno was playing in that position, he'd have to play with Garnacho. he'd have to play with someone who can run in behind.
That's why I picked Garnacho.
The only way Bruno can play false nine if he had someone that can run in behind him.
So yours is Casemiro, Ugarte, Garnacho and Mainu.
Or Mount. I'm all right with either.
And then Bruno up front.
Top.
Ours is Ugarte and Bruno in the mid, Mainu and Garnacho as the 10s.
Yeah.
And Holland up front, because we have to.
Again, I don't mind Mainu or Mount. And Garnacho,
I'd go Mainu.
the thing with Garnacho, yes, he's not perfect, but he has that pace, the only guy with it. He does drive you up the pitch, he is good on the counter, and he did just score a brilliant goal. And in this team, they're hard to come by, so I'd be starting someone who's just got a goal.
Yeah, quickly to touch on Garnacho, because I know we always give him stick when he's pretty poor, so I want to give him credit when he's good. Better off the right, didn't do anything silly today in terms of he wasn't just always trying to force something or, running into players. Passed it well, took his goal really well. Dallo credit for that goal as well. I think Garnacho had a decent game today. But quickly, because we are running out of time, man of the match for everyone? If you can even have one.
Zirkzee.
Yeah, Zirkzee for me.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that.
Okay, and magic moment.
Zirkzee and Bruno link up.
Yeah. Yeah, love that. Everyone, if you're still watching, please hit a like on the video, or if you're watching after, I don't know, in the morning or later on tonight, hit a like on the video as well. Thank you very much. We hope and pray for a win at Old Trafford against Lyon. Thursday, all eyes on Thursday. Get in the chat. Are United going to win that game? Are we going to win on Thursday?
Of course.
In full time?
Yes, in full time.
So
I'm going to be honest, I think we'll win. I've seen enough on Thursday that we're a better team.
Yeah.
Hayden, great debut on the forum. Are we going to win?
It's not going to be easy, but we will win.
We will win. We'll win. We've got a full house of wins after a 4-1. After a 4-1 drum in a week.
That sums up our season.
The thing is, it's the keeper thing, mate, because we can go on out, we can play better than them again, but we could go score 2 goals again, but let's see what our goalkeeper has to say about that.
Yeah. Greg says he'll get his gloves on and play in goal. So yeah, we'll look forward to that. Keep vote. Get in the comments as well how you'd have in goal. That's a big one as well. But thank you everyone for watching and standing by us. Not an easy game to watch, but we got through it. And let's pray that we get through on Thursday night, because we want a decent end to our season. There is a silver lining there to be got. The players got to go up for it. Thursday night, get in your comments, hit a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and we will see you on the next one.